Hello, folks. Well, just last week I received a helicopter from a subscriber. His name is Darren, and when he said he was going to send me this, I was surprised, but of course very thankful. Well, it didn't come without some issues, though, but you know, we Marines, we make anything work if possible. Well, the first thing was that it was completely disassembled. So from memory, because I had to kind of try to remember from the previous shuttle I had, and even the one I have now, the Z, which is one of my favorites, but also has quite a different head. Well, back in the late 70s and early 80s, Hirobo and Kyosho in Japan were making helis at this time, and there was some competition between them. And of course, John Simone, another helicopter champion, was also making his own helicopters called the Mantis in American RCs right here in America. Both Hirobo and Kyosho used the OS Max engines, and that made things much better at the time, because with nitro-powered anything, you needed to know how to run and set an engine on top of learning how to fly. And everybody knows OS engines are just fantastic engines, reliable and very good. Well, this helicopter came with a 72 megahertz Futaba radio, which was great at the time, but I elected not to use it as my NX8 will work fine and is so nice and light. The servos are JR, and I had to make mounts for them to get them to fit right. Also, there were two options for this helicopter. You could use one servo to run throttle and collective pitch at the same time, or there was a slot in the frame for an extra servo just to run collective pitch. That way you could throw a throttle hold switch, they now call that the 3D switch, and that was set to a high throttle at the time, so with the extra servo to run pitch, it was capable of mild 3D. I set mine up with the Moss method, introduced by my friend Mike Moss, a national helicopter champion in the day. And that is 0 pitch at half throttle and 7 degrees on each side. Well, after getting the machine all assembled with the radio all set up, I felt pretty good about it. I decided to start working on the engine. This is an OS-28 that I had to unfreeze. Well, after much degreaser, alcohol, silicone lube, and some heat and carb cleaning, I tested it on the bench first, and just like any OS that I've ever had, it performed perfect. Right. That's that. So finally, just put the belt down into the tail, assemble the tail rotor, and set it all up. All looks good. And although I have a gyro, I have actually not installed it yet. This is the way I learned, with no gyro. And that's because I really couldn't afford one. Futaba gyros are pretty expensive for the time. So I wanted to try that again. This is what the inside of the mechanical Futaba gyro looked like that became popular. And of course later on the piezo gyros came on with just no moving parts. And just for size comparison, here's what the gyros look like inside the real Phantoms that I was always around. Well, now I'm 75 and I've just been reminded how hard it is to fly without a gyro. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we can get this baby started up here. On the glue driver. So if we got continuity. At a pretty high idle.
gas. I forgot how difficult it was to fly without a gyro.
Well, thanks so much for sending this to me, Darren. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you loyal subscribers who stop by to watch. Please stay tuned because I'm going to put in a simple rate gyro for the next time and we'll see how well it does some old 3D. So this is Dave signing off till the next time.